Today I will be interviewing San Jacinto College student Candace Langley regarding Thad Cochran. We will post our interview to YouTube so other students may use this educational resource to learn more about one of our public servants serving in our federal government. Candace, I would like to thank you for your time today. And to start out, would you please give us some background information on who is Thad Cochran?
Welcome, and thank you for the opportunity to let me share what I've learned about Thad Cochran. William and Anna Cochran welcomed Thad into this world on December 7, 1937 in Pontotoc, Mississippi. His parents moved to different parts of Mississippi, but he was reared his entire childhood in Mississippi. While growing up, he devoted his time to academics, sports, music, and Boy Scouts. While attending high school, he played football, basketball, baseball, and tennis. He earned varsity letter in every sport he played. He was a member of the 4-H, gave a piano and voice recital his senior year, and most important, he was class valedictorian. As active as Cochran was, he still found time to work after school on the weekends as a car hop, store clerk, and cattle farming with his dad and brothers.
Candace, you've given us an overview of who Thad Cochran is. Can you give us an overview of the state of Mississippi where Thad was born and raised?
Of course. So let's start off with the birth of Mississippi. It became a state on December 10, 1817. The capital is Jackson. In 2010 census shows an estimated population of 2,984,926 people in the population of Mississippi. It has 46,923 square miles of land divided into 82 counties, each governed by a board of supervisors, and it has one federally recognized American Indian reservation. Mississippi's landscape includes the Mississippi River, which runs along the state's western border, farmlands and forested hills, has a mild climate, is an east-south central state bordered by Mexico to the west, Tennessee to the north, Alabama to the east, and the Gulf of Mexico to your south. The state of Mississippi has the nation's lowest average income despite producing manufactured goods like meat, clothing, appliances, and ships. The state plays an important role in technological developments. In medicine and space exploration fields, Mississippi also has substantial deposits of petroleum and gas.
Today, as Americans are becoming more involved in researching what type of job our elected officials are doing for their constituents, it's always a good thing to find out if elected officials are listening to their constituents and voting for the majority of their base. How would you describe Senator Cochran, Candace? Is it your belief he is listening to his constituents and serving as their leader, or does he have his own agenda and mostly disregards what his constituents think on issues?
Well, Thad Cochran was the first Republican in more than 100 years to win a 1978 state election in Mississippi for the United States Senate, where he is currently serving his 6th term in office today. This alone was over 38 years ago when radical tensions were still elevated in America, and with Mississippi having a large population of Black Americans. This is truly a man who listens to all of his constituents, no matter what color skin they are, what education level, religious preference, or age. He represents all of his constituents, and both Democrats and Republicans have continued to vote for him for the last 30 years.
American people enter politics for many different reasons. Some are groomed from childhood to hold public office. Others view it as a source of power they have over others. And some are truly public servants and enjoy serving the people. What was the driving factor for Senator Cochran to join the ranks of elected public servants?
Thad was first influenced in education by his parents, who both became educators. He began his strong leadership skills in school by his time that he devoted to academics, sports, music, and Boy Scouts. He graduated valedictorian and assisted in establishing a new scout troop at his church and served as its first junior assistant scoutmaster. Picking up where he left off in high school, in college academics were always first, but he was also very active. He was elected the first president of the social fraternity Pi Kappa Alpha. He was company of Commander-in-Chief of the Navy ROTC, and he was student body vice president. His early political aspirations came from assisting his parents with campaigns in the Mississippi governor, state superintendent of education, and highway commissioner, and assisting with the voter registration during these campaigns.
You just mentioned Senator Cochran was company commander in the Navy ROTC during college. Candace, did he take his military aspirations beyond his college years?
Yes, after graduating in 1959, Cochran became a member of the Navy Reserve and was commissioned to be assigned to duty aboard a heavy cruiser, the USS Macon, homeported in Boston. After the ship was decommissioned for active service in 1961, he traveled to New Orleans to complete a 2-year tour of active. Cochran's enthusiasm for higher education continued after serving in the Navy. When he enrolled into law school at Mississippi State University, during his time in law school, he was awarded a Rotary Scholarship and the opportunity to travel all the way aboard and study law for 1 year at Trinity College, University of Dublin, Ireland. While in Ireland, he represented the Rotary Club by giving speeches to numerous Rotary clubs and other groups on civil rights struggle in Mississippi and the United States. During summer vacations from law school, Thad returned to active duty in the Navy as an educator and taught military law and naval orientations at Officer Candidate School in Newport. During this time, he was promoted to lieutenant in the Naval Reserve.
After Senator Cochran completed his law degree, did he immediately go into public office or did he work as a lawyer?
No, he did not immediately seek a public office. Thad married Rose Clayton after receiving his law degree. She was also an Ole Miss graduate. They had 2 children and now are blessed with 3 grandchildren. He began to work for a law firm, Watkins & Eager, and he became a partner in only 2.5 years. He still maintained a very active schedule outside of work. He served as president of Jackson Men's Y Club, served as a member of Jackson Rotary Club, and a member of the board of Mississippi Opera. Thad was also responsible for organizing the Mississippi chapter of American Field and Service, and served as a charter president to sponsor foreign exchange programs for high school students. In 1971, he was named by the J.C. and Jackson Young Men of the Year, and one of the 3 outstanding Young Men of the Year statewide. Within the legal field, he was chairman for the Mississippi Law Institute, president of the Young Lawyers Division of Mississippi Bar Association.
How long after he started his law career did he run for public office, and did he win his first attempt to be elected as an elected official for the people of Mississippi?
It was actually several years later that Cochran held his first public office. In 1972, Cochran ran his first elected office, and he was elected United States Congressman for the 4th District in the U.S. House of Representatives. During his term, he was appointed to the House of Public Works Transportation Committee. Charged with jurisdiction over economic development, flood control, and transportation, served on a Republican task force to study energy crisis, and later to the Committee on the Standard of Official Conduct. During his tenure on this committee, he wrote a new ethics code for members of Congress. He served 2 more terms in the House of Representatives. In both re-elections, he received over 70% of the votes.
After Cochran served in the House of Representatives, did he go back to practicing law, or did he remain a public service in a different area of government?
Actually, Congressman Cochran ran for and was elected in 1978 to the United States Senate, where he is currently serving his 6th term in office. During his 6 terms for the U.S. Senator of Mississippi, he has served on many committees, which included, but not limited to, Senate Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry Committee, where he served as chairman from 2003 to 2005, Senate Ethics Committee, Judiciary Committee, Labor and Human Resources Committee, Committee of Indian Affairs, which enabled him to be involved in writing of laws affecting extensive range of problems, including rural development, healthcare, and criminal justice.
Congressmen are always trying to pass legislation at the federal level. They either sponsor a bill or resolution, or they co-author with other members of Congress.
His philosophy has guided his policy decisions, and he has a wide range of legislative records which reflect the needs of Mississippi and the nation. The senator has so many bills and resolutions he has been involved with, it would be nice to mention them, but a few of the resolutions and bills that Senator Cochran has co-sponsored are the concurrent resolution of the service and sacrifice of members of the United States Armed Forces who are currently serving or who have served, which include the Operation of Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and Operation New Dawn. The latest action for this resolution was on June 24, 2011, when it was introduced into legislation and is awaiting the Senate to hopefully pass. He has also co-sponsored with 20 other co-sponsors a resolution supporting the Local Radio Freedom Act. On February 28, 2011, it was referred to the committee, and it has currently been introduced to the legislation. During his current term, he is co-sponsoring a bill with 18 senators that Senator David Vider is sponsoring. It is a concurrent resolution expressing the sense of Congress and that a carbon tax is not economic interest of the United States. The resolution has been introduced and on January 28, 2013 was referred to the Committee of Finance.
Candace, we'd like to thank you. This has been a very interesting interview, and I would say I know now more about Thad Cochran, and I can also say that he is truly a public servant, someone who serves his people, all of his people in Mississippi, whether they are Republican, whether they are Democrat. He serves his constituents. Thank you so much for joining us today.